This here is Star Garden, a developing indie game that combines Chow Garden and Kirby Air Ride into a new, unique experience. It's actually being developed by ChowMix, a fairly popular Sonic YouTuber that you've likely heard of. I've played a decent amount of the game's trial so far and want to give you my thoughts on it. The trial has been out for only a couple of days and has already had multiple patches, so it's possible some of what I talk about in this video is changed in the future as the game continues to develop. First off, I really enjoy the design and feel of this game so far. The menu UI, the music, and the art style of the game are all really well done. I'm not sure if they have plans to change or upgrade the graphics over time, but I actually really enjoy the current style of the characters and the Lumis. There are currently 6 playable characters in the trial, but it looks like there are plans to add more. Each one has their own unique personality and charm, which I think is really nice. It brings me back to Sonic Adventure 2, where many different people would raise their child with their own personal favorite character from the game. A lot of other pet simulator style games only have 1 or 2 playable characters, so I'm very glad to see that this game has a variety of good options. The music in this game so far is great. I really enjoyed the main menu theme. This theme is perfect for the game, as it sounds like it could be ripped right from Kirby Air Ride or even Sonic Riders, as they both have high-octane, groovy songs that get you excited to play the game. The Lumi Garden theme is great too, and gives the same comfy vibes that the Chow Garden gives. Now let's take a look at the Lumi Garden, this game's equivalent to the Chow Garden. So far there's only the one area here to explore and raise Lumi in, but it is really big compared to the Chow Gardens we are used to. It has 2 different caves to enter and a hill for your Chow to climb as well. The Lumis themselves are cool and have a cute design to them, but are fairly bare bones at this point in development. You can level them up with fruits you earn from the Kirby Air Ride section of the game, but there isn't a whole lot else to do with them in here as of yet. They do have some cute actions they can perform every so often, but they don't really have a whole lot of interactions with the players yet, besides being happy when they get pet or fed, and then being sad if you decide to scold them or hunt them. They do change over time based on what stats you raise, but I don't believe there's any form of evolution in the game yet. There also isn't any way to get more than the starting 2 Lumis without glitches at this point, but I am curious to see how that will work in the full game. I hope we get some form of a black market or breeding system like the Sonic Adventure games have, as currently the trial has neither of those. Despite being fairly bare bones at this point, the Lumi Garden does show a lot of promise. It already does a good job at being cozy and relaxing with its cute design, and the core gameplay loop of playing versus mode to raise Lumis is already a big improvement over many other games who've tried to replicate the Chow Garden. Lots of other Chow Garden clone games struggle to make it fun to raise your Chow, as there's no core game besides the Chow Garden raising, whereas this game doesn't have that problem because of the fun versus mode. This mode is very similar to the City Trials mode in Kirby Air Ride or Smash Run on 3DS. You first have to collect a whole bunch of items and upgrades for your character, and then once the combat phase starts, you have to be the last person standing as you fight against your opponents. I think it's really cool that they already have online available in the trial. It's actually really easy to set up a game and play with your friends or play with random people online. There's also a local versus mode too, so you can play 4-player split screen if you want, which is great to see. The Green Glade map has many different areas to explore and has some fun areas to fight it out against your opponents. There are lots of different items to collect and evolutions you can get for your Lumi that power you up in this mode. The stats don't carry over to the Lumi Garden mode at all, but you do get a fruit for playing this mode, which you can then take back to the Lumi Garden and give to your Lumi to raise their stats. I like how this mode has many different options that you can change and edit as you please, like the length of each game and the items that are enabled. The core gameplay is already pretty fun too in its early state, and I didn't really notice too many bugs or glitches while playing. Despite that, I do have some ideas on how it can be improved along with the Lumi Garden mode too. First off, I think there needs to be some changes to the AI in the versus mode. I imagine the AI is still being developed, so this isn't too big of a deal, but I was doing some 1v1s versus an AI to level up my Lumis a bit faster, and the AI is laughably bad at points. As the combat phase happens, the arena becomes smaller and you take damage if you are out of it, similar to how the storm works in Fortnite. The AI does not really seem to care about this, as in most of my games against AI, they die to the storm rather than actually dying in a fight. I even tried a couple games where I literally did not move or collect power-ups all game, and was still able to win by just staying in the main arena while the storm killed the AI. This is actually a really easy way to level up your Lumi for anyone who wants to somewhat idly gain levels. I also think there needs to be some kind of camera setting that reduces camera shake or at least steadies the game in some way. I'll be real with you all, I got badly motion sick within my first 2 games of versus mode because the game was just going way too fast and shaking too much for me to handle. I do have a sensitivity to this sort of thing, so I don't think this would be a problem for everyone, but it was bad enough for me that I had to take a prolonged break from playing because I ended up puking a bit. I think the main issue for me was the rush hour event, which greatly increases the speed of your character and makes the game suddenly feel like it's going Mach 10. There were just so many colors on my screen and so many flashing objects as I was moving so fast, it just made me sick, frankly. I do hope this can be addressed in the future, and honestly I do think Chowmix and the dev team should add some kind of seizure or photosensitivity warning at the start of the game, as this is frankly a lot going on here and could cause issues for some gamers. I think the versus mode would also greatly benefit from a small map of some kind like Kirby Air Ride has. It can be a bit tricky to navigate areas if you aren't familiar with the layout and have no access to a map. Another addition I think they could add is some kind of tutorial mode or at least a guide about the game from within the game itself. The game doesn't really explain the versus mode too well. I think it just kind of assumes you've played Kirby Air Ride before, which can be confusing for people who have never played it. I believe there is a guide that is published on the game's Discord server, but it would be good to see it added to the game itself, as I still have no idea what most of the items within the versus mode do, and I've already played the game a decent amount. I think the game would also greatly benefit from some kind of challenge or reward system similar to Kirby Air Ride, where you unlock new things by completing specific challenges in the versus mode. This could be something like collect 10 cheeseburgers in versus mode to unlock a cheeseburger hat for your Lumi, or something like that. Would encourage users to play both modes more and reward dedicated gamers. As part of this suggestion too, I think there should be some way to show off your own Lumi at the start and end of each versus mode game. Right now in the trial, a generic Lumi seems to spawn alongside your character at the start of each game, but it'd be really cool if your favorite Lumi stayed next to you during the game as you played. Having some kind of Lumi showcase at the end for the winner would be great too, as many Chow Garden fans love to show off their Chowed Ellers, and I think this would be a great opportunity to show off Lumis, similar to how like Call of Duty players can show off their loot at the end of their games. On the topic of showing off, I think leaderboards similar to Sonic Speed Sim would also be a great addition. Could keep track of users who have the most wins all time, monthly, and daily to encourage users to grind and play more to see their names on the top of the leaderboard. Even if it's just a leaderboard that resets each day. I know stuff like that encouraged users to really grind and play Sonic Speed Sim, so I think it could have a similar effect here. Some kind of free roam or way to walk around with your Lumis in the Green Glade area and the other maps they eventually add would also be a great addition. I've always really liked using the Chow gameplay mod in Sonic Adventure DX to explore Station Square with my Chow, and I think this game has a great opportunity to do something similar since they already have this great big map added to the game. The last suggestion I have is that I think it'd be really cool to have some kind of Lumi sharing system within the game. Sonic Adventure 2 modded users use .chow files to send their Chow to their friends' games and easily import them into other copies of Sonic Adventure 2. And Wobble Dogs also has a similar system where you can instead just simply copy and paste a code into your game that will load in specific dogs. Stuff like this is great for the community from what I've seen, as it turns a single player mode like Chow Garden into a more community based experience, as you can also play with your friends' Chow or Lumis. Overall, I'm very excited to see what Star Garden becomes. Right now the game has a lot of charm and is really fun already, even in its early state. I hope lots of you will leave comments with your own suggestions for the game, as I imagine it is quite likely Chowmix and the dev team will take a look at this video. I've been talking in DMs with Chowmix directly about this game, and I'm very optimistic for its development. Make sure to check out the Steam page linked in the description if you want to try out the game yourself. It is currently free to play the trial on Steam and is worth checking out in my opinion. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me yap about Star Garden. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you everyone who clicked the like button, and thank you to all of the Choa homies who support the channel. Without you, I would not be able to create content regularly and stream often on this channel, so thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.